From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota equipment. Part of the #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience in the U.S., they offer the versatility and reliability to get the job done right, all year round. Right now at participating dealers, get a Kubota compact tractor for 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months.
Tractors, RTV, construction equipment. You do it all, we do it local.
Well, as expected, the highs were not as bad yesterday, and I expect more of the same here for today. Maybe a degree or two cooler, but overall we do expect to continue to see above average highs. But we have a warming trend too. So we're going to see a spike, and then those temperatures should start to drop, though, by the end of the weekend and beginning of next week. All right, we're in that time of the year where it's just kind of good to get that daily look at the fire potential and the fire danger. So we're looking at today, right? And you can see all of the areas in yellow. That is indicating that there's basically a low risk. You start getting into the brown, the risk is a bit higher, so it's known as a moderate risk. Then you start getting into these oranges and reds, and you have to be more concerned about whether it's the heat or the winds or even lightning. So as of right now, we're just kind of in that low risk criteria, and little to no risk, obviously, for the coast is to be expected. Now, we're going to take a look at the forecast, winds, and the dew point. Because at some point yesterday, the National Weather Service for a few hours had issued a fire weather watch for Modoc County. And that was due to the fact that we're expecting gusty winds and low relative humidity. But then a couple hours later, they decided to cancel it. Now here's the reason why. You have to have winds that are in excess of 25 miles per hour or higher for about a 3-hour period. So you can see here the winds will peak tomorrow, this afternoon that is, at about 19 miles per hour. And the reds here indicating, yeah, we got some dry conditions, but we certainly could be a lot drier with some deeper reds in there. So we're really not in the criteria of high fire danger, or at least a fire weather watch. And as we go into tomorrow morning, you can see that the winds die down, and then of course the humidity is a little bit higher as well. But as we go into Thursday afternoon, winds still a little gusty at times, but again, not quite in that criteria period, or criteria that we're looking at here. So bottom line is, yes, we are looking at better conditions out there, but we still have to be mindful of the fire danger that we have for this time of the year. So it's just a good idea to really take all the necessary precautions to prevent these fires from happening. Now let's talk about the smoke, because it certainly has been a concern, especially with the flat fire over southwestern Oregon. So as we go through the afternoon today, we're actually just looking at in the form of some haze. When you start to see these grays here, that's just the haze, a light haze that we're going to see here. In fact, a lot of us won't even notice it, quite honestly. But as we go into tonight and into tomorrow morning, we're seeing more smoke come down, especially in Del Norte and Humboldt counties, western Siskiyou County as well. And again, mainly just a haze as we go into Thursday for the valley. So here's what it looks like in the valley for today. Yeah, about 102 degrees for Redding. Again, not much different from what we saw yesterday. 98 degrees for a high in Chico. And for the mountains, we should stay well below 100 degrees, but in the mid to upper 90s pretty much anywhere you go for most of us in the mountains. And the trend, yeah, we're going to see what I like to just call a mini heat wave. Yes, 111 degrees is not mini by any stretch of the imagination, but the extent of this period, the period of this heat wave, not very long. So you can kind of see it goes up, and then it starts to go back down again closer to normal by the time we get into Monday and Tuesday of next week. Now the monsoon moisture is another thing that we monitor this time of the year to see if we can get any of that higher humidity, and not to mention maybe some thunderstorms. Now as it stands right now, through the rest of this week, this weekend, and even through next week, we're dry. But it looks like as we go into Monday, well, you have to excuse me. Let me rephrase that. The rest of this week into the weekend looks like we're going to be fairly dry. As we go into, say, Sunday, Monday of next week, we're beginning to see a little bit more of this monsoon moisture begin to move on in. So sometime around this upcoming Sunday into Monday, there's a slight chance we could maybe see some thunderstorms with that monsoon moisture moving in. Now, that's a long ways out, and we'll have to see if that actually happens, but it is something that I'm monitoring and watching very closely. All right, so here is your forecast for today. Again, much like yesterday, upper 90s to about a little over 100 degrees for us in the valley. And for the mountains, anywhere from the low to even upper 90s, just depending on where you are. Some of the cooler spots, the higher elevations, some of the warmer spots in the lower elevations. So there's your 7-day forecast for Mount Shasta City. We're in the upper 90s Thursday, Friday, even into Saturday, but temperatures start to drop again. And notice the clouds I put for Sunday, Monday. Now, I have not put any wording for any thunderstorms in the mountains just yet. If we were to see them come Sunday or Monday, it would be Alturas and Susanville. But otherwise, I'm keeping it dry for now, and I'm not putting any thunderstorms in there either. But again, you can see the spike in the temperatures, and then they start to go back down for pretty much everyone. We look at the valley, and of course, no big surprises there. That's where all the heat is, right? 111 degrees on Friday for Redding, 109 for Red Bluff, and 106 for Chico. That's the peak. And temperatures start to drop after that. We're back down to, in fact, the upper 90s for Chico by Monday, Tuesday, and even for Red Bluff, at least on Monday. But temperatures right around or just above 100 degrees for Redding on Monday and Tuesday.